All right. So we do have some breaking news that we are excited to share with you. And well, this is something that is beta right now, but it is something that is going to help sellers and buyers. And it's something that looks like, well, if you've ever shopped on Amazon and, well, they've got a little program called Prime, it's something similar to that. At least I think it's their attempt to build something like a Prime. So, with that being said, what is it, right? Well, Chris Schaefer's here to let us know all about it because he brought it to my attention this morning and we wanted to get it out as soon as possible. So, Chris, could you please share this with us all?
Absolutely. So this got posted as of the time of recording this, Scott, just a few hours ago, and I've seen a few different versions of this notification go out. First, they let sellers know, and now I'm starting to get emails in the different buyer accounts that I've had over the years. Almost the same email, which is a little weird to me, but I've gotten a handful of notifications now about this. And what we're talking about is what Etsy is calling Etsy Insider, which, like you alluded to, Scott, I think is their big competitor to something like an Amazon Prime, right? They're looking for other ways to bring in some revenue to the site. But more importantly, I think the real impetus behind this, yes, there's a nice revenue stream in this for them. Some of the benefits will lead into that, but we'll get to that here in a minute. I think the real reason is if people know that they're guaranteeing certain things, just like with Amazon Prime. Why does anybody have Amazon Prime? I hate to break it to Mr. Bezos. It ain't for Amazon Video, right? It's for free 2-day shipping. It's for some of those kinds of
Oh,
things.
yeah.
And people who pay for Amazon Prime go to Amazon and go, can I get this in 2-day shipping or same-day shipping before they go anywhere else? And Etsy, as going to be, right, in their minds at least, the place for gifts and unique items, they want people to have a reason to say, hey, this is a gift. I should go to Etsy. I'm an Etsy insider. I know I'm going to get certain benefits out of that. So what does this program look like? The first thing is, like most things at Etsy, and Scott, you know I love this word when it comes to Etsy, this is a beta. So this could be something that is a month, or it could be like the Search Analytics report, which was in beta for like 2.5 years and is finally rolling out to be a real thing. But they are announcing this just in time for Q4, that they're going to be opening this up to select buyers. Right now, this is only going to be available to select buyers inside of the United States, and they're rolling out that in September, supposedly. And they haven't announced, at least that I've seen at this point, what those requirements are for the buyers, but it is going to be invite only to start with. And then if it's something that is useful, if they see those metrics that they want to see, right, those buyers coming back again and again, using Etsy more than they were in the past, then they are going to roll this out potentially to everybody that has access to Etsy. So right now, very small, limited beta, but it is something that's interesting. And the real reason behind this is because they're trying to get people to come back again and again. And we did the Etsy buyer survey, Scott. We know that the average Etsy buyer makes about 5 purchases per year, but that's kind of skewed one way or the other, right? There's the people who buy more than once a month, and then there's the people who buy once a year because they come to look for that weird fishing thing for their dad on Christmas.
Right.
The average comes out to around 5 purchases. What Etsy is trying to do is get those 1-time or 2-time a year buyers to become 3, 5, or 11 plus time a year buyers. And they think that they can do that with Etsy Insider. So what do people get if they join Etsy Insider? If you get that invite, or if they roll this out to the public, what is this going to look like? Well, the first thing, and I think the most important thing here, is that they're guaranteeing free domestic shipping. Right. So they're saying, hey, we know that this is a conversion point for people. If we can give you free shipping, is that something that would be enough to pay for as a membership perk? It worked for Amazon Prime. If you remember back in the day, that was the only thing that you got with Amazon Prime, was that access to free shipping. They're not guaranteeing a time frame on this, which I think is interesting, but they are covering the cost of shipping, at least according to this. They're also giving out a few other things that I think are a little less enticing, right? A special birthday bonus, which is one of the most generic things that I've ever heard plugged into this, right? It's like the marketing team was like, we need something else to throw in here. Let's just give them a birthday bonus, right? No idea what it is, but it sounds like from some of the other things that I've been reading about this, some of the email follow-up that they've sent out, that it is going to be a product made by an Etsy seller. So they may be doing something, September, they'll go to an Etsy shop and buy a couple hundred of these or a couple thousand of these, right? And send it out to people. That we don't know yet, but it seems like what they're going to be doing for that birthday bonus for Etsy insiders is partnering with Etsy shops and having them provide the product. So maybe it's something they favorited up to a certain dollar amount. We don't know what that looks like yet, but despite the generic language, could be a cool little perk. I think the real driver in all of this for most people is going to be that free domestic shipping. The other thing that they are giving if somebody joins that beta is that limited edition tote bag from Carrie Strokes, right? Cool, right? Cool, but I don't necessarily need the tote, right? Maybe it's just me. If I'm really into Calhoun and Co., then maybe that's enough reason for me to join the beta for this. But I think, like I said previously, the vast majority of people are going to be joining this for that free shipping guarantee.
Yep.
The question is going to be, what does the pricing on this look like? And what does it mean for sellers, right? If the goal here is to drive more purchases and they're guaranteeing free shipping, what does this mean for sellers? And I like that Etsy put this in bold for us. They're saying you don't need to do anything differently. You don't need to change your shipping settings. There's no cost to you. So what that means to me, Scott, is they are paying the shipping cost, right? So if we have a $5 shipping fee on the listing, Etsy is still paying us for that, and they are deducting it from that Etsy insider fee that they are collecting. If we have free shipping on the listing, they would just not pay us anything extra for that. But if we are charging shipping normally, then buyers don't have to pay it, but Etsy would be compensating sellers for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess my only question on the shipping side of things is, again, like if we've already been kind of told by Etsy that they want us to offer free shipping, then what's the perk, right? Like what's the perk of this insider if you're telling people that they should do free shipping, but yet on, when you have Etsy Insider, you get free shipping. But it's like, well, wait a minute, I already offer that. So a buyer would see, I already get that. So it's not really a perk. I'm just trying to see where that comes into, where it didn't say fast shipping. It just said free shipping.
Yeah, it's free domestic shipping, right? Again, fairly generic language. It's a beta. It's an early test. And I guess the question, and this is something Etsy would have pretty easy data analytics on, just to throw out a big word that doesn't mean a whole lot, right? They can look at the numbers. Is even though that's something they encourage sellers to do because they know that it increases conversion rate, they also understand that because Etsy is a unique goods marketplace, there's often a shipping cost associated with those things. And so I'm wondering if the ratio of products that have a shipping cost to the products that have free shipping is such that they're like, okay, 80% of stuff on here, people are still charging shipping on, so it's going to be worth it for people. Or hey, when you get hit with that one big shipping thing for the year because you bought a statue on Etsy, right? Like you bought something that's really bulky, heavy, that there's no way to do that, then we'll guarantee free shipping on that. I think it is nice that you no longer have to think about that. And I think that's really what Etsy is probably after with this, is they're looking at eliminating that as a variable. Hey, we tried to get sellers to do it. We know that not every seller can. So rather than saying you ain't gonna rank if you don't have free shipping, this is a better way of handling that. And it eliminates that concern from the buyer. And the thing you and I have talked about in the past is when it comes to shipping, buyers are not nearly as adverse to shipping as they seem. And if we look at the Etsy seller survey, or the Etsy buyer survey rather, they said it wasn't a huge deal as long as it was reasonable, right? I think it was 80-something% of people said they'd still buy a product if it had a shipping cost. The downside is when you get into the higher shipping costs, right? $3-4, not a big deal. The cart surprises is where you start to have that be a problem, right? You're selling a $1 product and charging $15 in shipping, or it's like an extra $100 because it weighs 1,000 pounds or whatever it is. That's when that starts to become a real conversion rate issue for people. And if that's what Etsy is looking at on the back end, then I'm okay with it. I think the nice thing is if Etsy Insider becomes a success, then we can charge for shipping, right? Like if Etsy's covering it, I'm charging for shipping on everything, as long as it's a widely adopted thing. Right now, I wouldn't just say, hey, charge that $4.95. But if it's something we have to do to increase our margins and Etsy's going to cover it, even better. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, I think this is interesting. Again, we don't know how many people this is going to be rolled out to. Do I think people are going to be willing to pay a membership for, and maybe it'll be a yearly? Did it say if it was going to be a yearly, a monthly, a quarterly? Did it say any of that in that report there?
It was yearly or I think it was yearly or monthly.
Okay.
Is what it said.
Okay.
Uh,
And I think, you know, once again, I think
okay,
if
annual or seasonal. So
mm,
that to me sounds like quarterly, maybe,
okay.
rather than a monthly thing.
Yeah. And so I think someone is going to be weighing out in their head, how much do they purchase on Etsy and how much is this going to save me on shipping? That's where it's going to come into the play. The tote bag, people don't care about that. Getting a birthday gift, don't care about that. It's going to be all about the free shipping. And also, I think what's going to happen here is this will be interesting. Domestic shipping is going to take longer than priority shipping, right? So what's going to happen is then you get the domestic with your free, but if you want to upgrade to to get 2-day shipping, well, then it's probably going to be a cost associated with that now because it's not your domestic. So part of me thinks this is probably going to go out of beta and it's probably not going to exist. That's just my thoughts right now, and I'm gonna state it right here on this video. So this way here we can come back and see maybe in a year. Do I think something like this could work for Etsy? I do, but it's going to come down to it can't be domestic shipping. It's got to be like you're going to get free and it's going to be faster. No one's going to pay just because they're getting free shipping if it's going to take 7 to 10 days, when if you do priority and pay a little bit more, you're going to get it in 2 days. Most people are going to want it in 2 days. They're not going to want to wait, especially if we're talking about a gift, right? We want to make sure that we get it. Domestic, sometimes it could be 2 weeks. We don't know. There's always that 7 to 9 days or something like that, right? There's this, it's going to get to you, eventually. So whenever I see domestic, I'm always like, all right, where's the priority? I want to see the priority tab. So I don't know that this is going to be a big driver for them. I think it's interesting that they're trying to do something like that, but I also don't know if this marketplace is going to lend itself to it unless they can do something with, guaranteed 2-day shipping or something like that.
So I'm doing a little bit of digging on the fly. And like we said, this was announced by Etsy this morning. Gizmodo just reported about an hour ago, since we've been on, that they found an interview, I guess, with the COO, who hinted it would be around the price of a latte per month. So
$5,
$5, $10.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine that it's less than $10, right? Like maybe lattes are more expensive in Brooklyn around the Etsy headquarters. I don't know, but like $5 a month to cover free shipping, even free domestic shipping, that might be enough. Right. And if Etsy is just looking at this as a way of getting people onto the platform, and maybe, Scott, maybe I was reversed on the math, right? Maybe they're saying, hey, we guarantee you free shipping because they know that most people are offering free shipping, right? We'd have to look at the numbers. And then they say, hey, yeah, on the off chance that they order something, most people are charging $3.95. So if they order one thing a month, then they still come out ahead. That makes sense. Maybe not after the tote bag and the special birthday gift and all of those kinds of things. But if it is $4 or $5 a month, does that change your opinion on this?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I personally don't know if it's going to work. I would like to know from you. Let us know in the comments. Do you think this is a move that is going to work? Do you think that it's going to be something that we hear about now, Etsy Insider, where we're able to, have this database of buyers that are paying monthly so they can buy more on Etsy and get faster shipping? I'm curious. In the comments, let us know. Now, is this a bad thing for us sellers? No, it's a great thing. I mean, if it works, awesome, because then we're going to get free shipping or give free shipping to our customers without having to pay for it. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think it could be a good thing, but who knows? I guess time will tell. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.